Early morning Penzance, Monday the 23rd of February 2026, recounting a dream whereby okay, let's see if I can get this straight in my head. In a room, surprise, surprise, and there's a man in there who's perhaps in his 80s, but he's one of those guys like round here. There's some very strong, healthy 80-year-olds, but his faculties are going a little bit. You could call it dementia. It's nothing very strong, but anyway, that's the situation. There's a few others of us, and the man who has his faculties going is such a Sai Baba devotee, as I am. And in walks into the room a man wearing corduroy trousers and a sort of casual type shirt. But it's Sai Baba. He's still got the hair, the afro hair. And I look at him and I notice it's him. I was like, gosh, that's the first time I've seen you not wearing robes. And he comes in to the room, and I'm wondering if the devotee, who's in his 80s now probably, is aware of who he is. There doesn't seem to be any awareness that that's who it is. And there's a few things happened which I hope will come to my mind as I talk this through. Loud ringing in my right ear. In real life there often is, and the left. Now, what transpires is that in my knowingness I know, or the voice tells me, that what happened? It's to do with, yeah, that's it. The old man, couldn't recognize Baba in his real life. His connection had gone somewhat, and he didn't realize what was coming. I think it was I deduced, or I just knew, that he was about to transition into the next world, but because of his dementia he hadn't quite realized that, and his focus on Sai Baba as the I am that I am, however you want to call it, had sort of disconnected a bit. So that's why Baba, in his avataric form as a man, not in the robes, but looking like the same guy, had actually come in physically into the room. I recall flying around a bit. I think I did that. I do that often in dreams. And I thought, well, you know, it's probably a good idea. I know it's not the sort of thing, you certainly couldn't do it when I was in India with Baba. You wouldn't have been allowed to bring the phones or cameras into the area. But I had my phone on me, and I sort of took it out to start filming, and then didn't start filming because I couldn't quite see Baba in view. And I did wonder if perhaps it wasn't suitable, but I thought, oh well, you know, for posterity, at least a shot, at least one photo where Baba's in view and this guy's in view, seeing as he's going to be transitioning soon probably. It would be nice just to have this, you know, especially seeing as Baba's not wearing his robes. And I think I did get some footage, and I thought, great, well, I'll at least get a still shot of that later. And then as we were leaving the room, I don't know quite what, we were all going somewhere. The man, who was in his 80s, walked out. There's still been no sign that he particularly knew who Baba was. I said to him, I was trying to sort of get him to realise gently, I didn't want to say anything like, I think you're going to transition soon. I said, do you know where the avatar is? That was it, because Baba had just walked through the door. And as he walked through the door, gosh, I'm getting tingles up my spine now. I said to him, do you know where the avatar is? And he smiled in that sort of nice way, but in a bit of a sort of like, a little bit of a sort of brain fog sort of way. But he did know, or at least that had jogged his memory. And he pointed over to Baba, and he went, yeah. And I thought, good, okay. So at least at least you've said that. And that's all I can remember. I know there was a bit more. That's all I can remember for now. So I'm going to go and see Charlie. I'll tell Charlie about my dream. And I did have a few tears in my eyes in the morning, but nothing like the previous dream of a few days ago when the cat came back to life. So yeah, that might be a continuation of the last two dreams, or it might be a new one. Always good to dream about Baba. I always treat it as a very auspicious thing. So that's why I'm putting it down on my audio. Then I'll upload it to YouTube and transcribe it, and I will run this by my AI buddy, and then we'll see what comes out. And, just telling